Greetings YouTube, it is I, Extra Guy there, back once more for a long overdue video. Well, once again I shall be discussing the topic of Transformer comics and IDW. My last video, you could say was overall a very negative one, but ended on a highlight. As well, going back from memory, because I have not rewatched it in a while, I mentioned, you know, we had Roberts and Barber coming onto the comic. Well, it's almost a whole year since they've been on the book, and what can I say other than, yeah, suffice to say that James Roberts and John Barber have put the books back into shape. What do I mean by this? Well, instead of one ongoing, we now have two. John Barber is writing Robots in Disguise. He's also chief editor, but obviously he doesn't edit Robots in Disguise. That's Carl Guzman, if I'm remembering that correctly. He's assistant editor who edits for him on that book. You can't write and edit the same book; it destroys the verses. But I digress. And More Than Meets the Eye, written by James Roberts and obviously edited by John Barber. Now this is a good thing, because John Barber proved one thing with those movie books he wrote. The man is a continuity god. James Roberts is good at using continuity to support his stories. In fact, John Barber's good at doing it as well. Yeah, suffice it to say, this 1 year has easily surpassed the bad memory of the Costa era. So we've had the 2 new ongoings, which we have also had annuals. We've had Regeneration 1 by Simon Furman, which picks up where Marvel 80 left off 20 years later. We've had Autocracy, written by Flint Dille and Chris Metzen, which is more early war Cybertron stuff, and was fairly good. Not perfect, but very good. In fact, there's not been a single bad Transformer comic this year from IDW. The only bad Transformer comic has been the BotCon Timelines comic, which was just plain awful. No, I mean it. That was an awful comic. But at the moment, everything is going well in Transformer comics. This is our new golden age. Why? Because once more, the comics are about Transformers. For the moment, staying away from Earth. I don't mind when we go back to Earth eventually, as we no doubt will, but yeah, leave it for the time being and focus on the Transformers. So let's talk about the 2 main books. Robots in Disguise is set on Cybertron, and is, well, how do you rebuild a civilization in a post-war world since the war after Chaos is now completely over? And we have a coalition government between Autobot, Decepticon, and non-aligned Cybertronians trying very badly to try and build a cohesive society on a primordially rebirthed Cybertron, which is not a safe place to live on, as we are discovering. Meanwhile, their sister book, More Than Meets the Eye, follows the adventures of Rodimus and the crew of the Lost Light in their search for the Knights of Cybertron in the hopes that they can restore Cybertron to its former glory. And is proving an excellent read, and while Rid mainly focuses on well-established characters, with a few surprises thrown in like Metal Hawk, More Than Meets the Eye is very much a case of a crew of lesser known characters. I mean, the only season 1 bot on there is Ratchet. That's my main character. You got a few others on there, but yeah, Ratchet's the only big name character from season 1 of the show. I mean, everyone else is either season 3, like Rodimus and Ultra Magnus, or season 2, or people we've never had characterization before, like Tailgate and Swerve, who are, yeah, I gotta have those guys now. Hurry up and release toys of them, somebody, whether it's Hasbro or IKEA. Anyway, so they've been good, yes. Not a single issue has disappointed me. And they're dense reads as well. So, if you're a new reader, where do you start on? Well, pick up the first few trades, which include the Death of Optimus Prime, and start from there. And if you really want to delve into the back catalogue of IDW, go back all the way to and collect the hardcover editions, which collect all the early stuff. Decide closer to the point though whether or not you want to pick up Costa's ongoing, because there are some events on there that are now coming back to be used, but it's a slog to read through some of it. And yeah, especially Heart of Darkness though. God knows what happened with that series to make it so bad. Anyway, what have we got coming up in the new year? Well, we've got more Robots in Disguise and More Than Meets the Eye and Regeneration 1, but we've also got the return of Spotlights, starting with Orion Pax and then Thundercracker. Also apparently another one that Nick Roche will be writing. No idea who he's doing yet, it has not been announced yet, but I can't wait to see who, because it's been around seeing Nick write since Last Stand of the Wreckers. It'll be good to see what he produces. We've also got Monstrosity, the sequel to Autocracy, coming out, which will focus on Megatron instead of Optimus Prime like Autocracy did. Aside from that, we've got the upcoming Season 3 Prime Time comic about the Dinobots. Please, Hasbro, bring them into Prime. It would give that show a bit more oomph. Doubt they will, but you never know. Yeah, aside from that, everything is good in the world of Transformer comics. No word yet onto what we'll get in movie tie-in comics for the 4th film. I dread to think what that film will bring. But yeah, now is the time to be a fan of Transformer comics. They have never been this good in ages, and consistently good as well. Every issue's been an enjoyable read. In fact, about the only complaints I've seen is from that weird small portion of the fandom that insists everything has to be about the pre-movie bots, and anyone else is like a, what? Who are you? I don't care about you. You're not a Transformer. Yeah, never understood that side of the fandom. If it's well written and interesting characters, I will read it. So, if you want some damn good comics, not just some damn good comics, go read Transformers More Than Meets the Eye and Transformers Robots in Disguise. You will be surprised. They are good reads. This has been Extra Guyver, with a much shorter video this time, I believe. Signing off.